Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to round one of the NRL. I am so goddamn excited for the footy season to kick off. It kicks off in about 50 hours from now. I can't wait. The first game on Thursday night, as we all know, the reigning defending premiers, the Melbourne Storm, up against one of the premiership contenders this year in the South Sydney Rabbitohs. If you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. We are currently at 1,091 subscribers. Let's try and get to 1,100 subscribers by kickoff or round one. But honestly, guys, I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to doing this video since the season ended. So we're going to go through each game here from Thursday night to Sunday night. So let me know who you're tipping in the comment section below. I look forward to reading the feedback. So without further ado, let's get into it. Round one of the NRL. And it all kicks off on Thursday night at 8 o'clock down there at Amy Park in Melbourne. It is the reigning defending premiers, the Melbourne Storm, up against one of the premiership contenders this year, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. It's an absolute blockbuster of the game. The Melbourne Storm are favourites here at $1.85. The South Sydney Rabbitohs are $1.95. It's an even money bet. It's a cracking game. Melbourne have a pretty much a full-strength side. Brenko Lee has been ruled out due to injury, so Remus Smith will go into the centres and Jules Jennings will move on to the wing. Everything else is pretty much the same for Melbourne. Harry Grant is out as well, so Brendan Smith will go to dummy half. Dale Finucane is also out, which is a big loss, and Nelson Solomona will come on and play lock for the Storm. As for the Bunnies, they're pretty much 1 through to 17, as we all would expect. Now, this is a blockbuster game to start the season. Melbourne Storm, South Sydney Rabbitohs, two top 4 contenders this year. Two premiership contenders. A very difficult game to tip. I found it very hard to pick, but I have decided to go with the Melbourne Storm here to defeat the South Sydney Rabbitohs in round one. I think Melbourne will win. 2 reasons why I like Melbourne. Reason number 1, the Melbourne Storm have never lost a round 1 game with Craig Bellamy as head coach. And the reason number 2, the Rabbitohs have never won in Melbourne against the Storm. So it could change. Souths definitely could win, but I think the Melbourne Storm are going to win this game in round 1 to open the season. So I'm going Melbourne Storm to win by 6 points. I'm going to go 24 points to 18. And my man in the match for the game, I'm going to go with Ryan Papenhuyzen to be the man in the match. So Storm to win, 24-18. Melbourne by 6. Ryan Papenhuyzen for man of the match. Now, Friday night at 6 o'clock at McDonald Jones Stadium down there in Newcastle. It is the Newcastle Knights up against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. The Newcastle Knights are the favourites here at $1.50, and the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs are at $2.50. Now, obviously, for the Knights, no Kalen Ponga due to injury, so Tex Hoy will go to fullback. Also, Shibasaki will go onto the wing. Edric Lee is not playing. I think he may have an injury. And also, obviously, Lachlan Fitzgibbon is still out, so Connor Watson goes to lock, and Mitch Barnett goes to the edge. This is going to be a big game. And as for the Bulldogs, obviously Nick Kotrick, the new recruit, he goes into the centres. Corey Allen goes to fullback. And Jake Gavarillo is named to play 5'8". I thought he wasn't back to round 2, round 3, but he is named to play. Kyle Flanagan's there for the Bulldogs. Jack Hetherington, Corey Waddell. Now, look, I think Canterbury are a good chance here to beat the Knights, but the thing with the Bulldogs is I think they still have a few combination issues. I think it's going to take a few weeks for the Bulldogs spine to click. Obviously, Flanagan and Avarillo's a new halves combination. Corey Allen's a new fullback. The spine's going to gel. I think it'll take a few weeks for the Bulldogs to get going. So I think Newcastle will get the win here. I think it'll be a close game. I'm going Newcastle to win this game by 10 points. I'll go Newcastle to win. I'll go 24 points to 14. And my man in the match for this game, I will go with Daniel Saifiti to be best on ground. So Newcastle to win 24-14 and Daniel Saifiti to be man of the match. The next game on Friday night at Suncorp Stadium at 8:05 p.m. It is the Broncos up against the Eels. The Parramatta Eels are favourites here at $1.35 and the Broncos are outsiders here at $3.25. Now this is going to be a very interesting game. Last year's Wooden Spooners, the Broncos, up against the team that made the top 4 last year in the Parramatta Eels. Now, obviously, the Broncos have got a new coach there in Kevin Walters. Parramatta got a couple of new recruits to the side. So as for the Broncos, you know, no Katoni Staggs, obviously, so Tessie New will go into the centres. Brody Croft gets the nod at halfback over Tom Dearden. There is no Payne Haas for the Broncos as well, which is a pretty big loss. Young Jordan Ricky will be in the back row for the Broncos. Sean Asiata also goes onto the bench. As for the Parramatta side, the new recruit, Tom Wapachek, he'll go into the centres. Everything else is pretty much the same for the Parramatta side. They get Isaiah Papali'i and Keegan Hipgrave to the bench, the new recruits for the Eels. Look, I think this game might be a bit of a bloodbath. I think Parramatta will win this game quite well. I can't see the Broncos halves winning a tight game against Parramatta here. I think Parramatta win, and I think they will win well here. So I'm going Parramatta to win by 20 points. I'm going to go Parramatta to win 30 points to 10. I think they'll have too much class. I think Dylan Brown will be man of the match. So I'm going the Parramatta Eels to beat the Broncos on Friday night, 30 points to 10. And I think Dylan Brown will be the man of the match. Now let's get into Super Saturday. And it all starts off with two teams that have a bit of expectation going into this year. 3 o'clock at Central Coast Stadium. The Warriors up against the Titans. The Gold Coast Titans are favourites here at $1.65. And the Warriors are outsiders at $2.20. This is a big game, this one. I think this game is going to be very entertaining. And I think it'll be very high scoring. Now, for the Warriors, they get the new recruits. They get Ewan Aiken. He will be in the centres. Adam Fanua-Blake will be in the front row. Wade Egan is named to play, although I think he is in doubt to play. But he has been named to start at hooker. Bailey Sirenden goes into the back row with Tohu Harris going to lock. Ben Murdoch-Masila goes onto the bench for the Warriors. As for the Gold Coast, the new recruits of David Fafita and Tino Fusulmalawi. I still can't pronounce the last name, for crying out loud. David Fafita goes to the edge. Tino goes to lock. Herman Essiesi, is he named to play? It doesn't even look like Herman Essiesi is playing. He's in the reserve. So, look, this is going to be a big game here. The Warriors and the Titans. I think it'll be a really close game here. I'm going the Warriors to win. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I'm tipping the Warriors to cause a bit of an upset here. They are paying $2.20, so it is considered an upset. The Gold Coast record down there at the Central Coast is not great, so I think the Warriors will win this game in a pretty high-scoring game. I'm going the Warriors by 4. I'm going to go the Warriors to win 26 points to 22. And my man of the match for this game, I'm going to go with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck to be the man of the match. The next game on Saturday is at 5:30 at the Sydney Cricket Ground. It is the Sydney Roosters up against the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. The Roosters are favourites here at $1.30, I believe. Yep, that's right. And Manly at $3.50. Now, look, this is a very interesting game. The Roosters, they're pretty much at full strength. Luke Keary goes to halfback. Lachlan Lamb will go to 5'8" for the Roosters. Lindsay Collins goes into the front row to start for the Roosters, along with Satili Tupanua. Jared Rorea-Hargraves to the bench. A very interesting decision there from Trent Robinson. I think Jared Rorea-Hargraves will bring a lot of good impact off the bench for the Roosters. As for Manly, obviously no Tom Trbojevic due to injury. So Dylan Walker goes to fullback, which I'm a big fan of. I said Dylan Walker should go to fullback when I said it a few weeks ago on Instagram Live, I believe. Brad Parker's in the centres. Kieran Foran in the halves with DCE. Jason Saab on the wing. I picked him for top try scorer this year. Josh Alloway to the front row to replace Adam Fanua-Blake. Tajeski on an edge. Andrew Davey, the new signing, he's on the bench as well. Look, I think this game might be a tighter game than what we think. I think the Manly will definitely be up for this game. I think the Roosters will win the game, but I don't think the Roosters will blow them out of the park like a lot of people seem to think. I think the Roosters will win this game by about 12 points. So I'm going to go the Roosters to win this game, 26 points to 14. I think it'll be a bit of a high-scoring game. So Roosters to win, 26 points to 14. Roosters by 12. My man of the match for this game, I'm going to go with the back rower, Satili Tupanua. I think he'll be best on ground. Now, the next game, Saturday night at 7:30 at Panthers Stadium. It is the Panthers up against my team, the Cowboys. Penrith versus North Queensland. Saturday night at Penrith Stadium. Should be a big game. The Panthers are favourites, though, at $1.30. And the Cowboys are pretty big outsiders here at $3.50, I believe. Yeah, $3.50 for the Cowboys. A very big price there for North Queensland. For some reason, the NRL app just wants to crash on me. From what I saw earlier, Charlie Staines is named to play for the Panthers. I know Kurt Capewell was named on an edge for Penrith. As for the Cowboys, I know Drinkwater was at fullback. Val Holmes on the wing. The hammer goes to the centres. Michael Morgan at 5'8". Francis Molo in the front row with Jordan McLean, which is an interesting decision there. Josh Maguire moves back to the bench. I think Mitch Dunn's playing second row with Cohen Hess. Why does the NRL app want to crash when I start recording a video? Hopefully this loads up now. Yep, here we go. So yeah, for the Panthers, Kurt Capewell goes to the edge. Paul Momorowski, the new recruiter, goes to the centres. Moses Leota goes to the front row. Liam Martin is on the bench, along with the new recruit there, Matt Eisenhuth. As for the Cowboys, it's pretty much the same team they named against the Broncos in that trial game. Valentine Holmes on the wing with Kyle Fowle. The Hammer and Isan Masters go into the centres. That'll be interesting. Morgan at 6, which I think is a big key. McLean and Mollo up front. Mitch Dunn and Hess on an edge. And for the Cowboys bench, Maguire and Jensen, that'll be the front row. I'm interested to see what role Ruben Cotter plays. I think he'll play lock. But look, for this game, I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to tip the Panthers to win this game against the Cowboys. I think the Panthers will win by 8 points. I think that Panthers left edge is just... I'm having nightmares thinking about it, to be honest. I think the Panthers will get the job done by 8 points. I'm going to go the Panthers 24 points to 16. I think it'll be an entertaining game. So Panthers to win 24-16, and my man of the match for that game, I'm going to go with Viliame Kikau. He's up against Cohen Hess. I think he'll be giving Hess a nightmare. So Panthers to win 24 points to 16, and Viliame Kikau for man of the match. Let's move on to Sunday afternoon football. The first game at 4 o'clock. It is the Canberra Raiders versus the West Tigers. Now, I tipped Canberra to finish first this year. I tipped the West Tigers to win the wooden spoon. So, an interesting prediction there from myself. But Canberra versus the West Tigers. Now, Canberra got a few out. Jared Croker's out due to injury. So, Sebastian Chris goes into the centres. Bailey Simonson goes to the wing, replacing Nick Kotrick this year. Canberra, Hudson Young plays on an edge, replacing John Bateman this year. Ryan James, also a new recruit, he goes back to the bench. As for the West Tigers, Dane Laurie goes to fullback. James Roberts in the centres. Asa Capella replaces Tommy Talau. Moses Mbai goes to 5'8" for the West Tigers. The new recruit, Tamo, he goes into the front row with Joe Offer and Gowie. Everything else is pretty much the same. Look, I can't see the West Tigers winning this game. I think Canberra will win by about 18 points. I think they'll be far too good for the West Tigers here. So I'm going to go Canberra to win by 18 points. I'm going to go the Raiders to win 18 points. I'll go 24 points to 6. I think Canberra will be too good. In my man of the match for that game, I'll go with Josh Hodgson to be the man of the match. And the final game of the round, Sunday night at 6:15 at Nostrada Jubilee Oval. Hang on. Before I get into that, the odds for the Raiders-Tigers game, Canberra $1.30. The West Tigers are $3.50. So like I said, Canberra to win by 18, 24 points to 6, and Josh Hodgson for man of the match. Now, I'm sorry about that. Now, the last game of the round at 6:15 on Sunday night, the Dragons versus the Sharks at Nostrada Jubilee Stadium. The Sharks are $1.60. The Dragons are at $2.30. This will be an interesting game. Now, the Dragons have got a new recruit. So I've got Jack Bird in the centres. They have got Andrew McCulloch going to hooker. They have got Posa Fumasalawi on the bench for the Dragons. As for the Sharks, Matt Moreland goes to 5'8" for the Sharks. Who else is there for the Sharks? I've got Aiden Tolman on the bench for Cronulla. So, look, I think this game will be tight. I'm really finding it difficult to pick this game. St. George versus Cronulla. Tough game to tip. I'm going to tip the Sharks. I think they'll just have a little bit too much class for the Dragons. I'll go the Sharks by 4. I think it'll be an entertaining game. I think it'll be a high-scoring game as well. I'll go the Sharks to win 24 points to 20. And my man of the match for this game, I'm going to go with Braden Hemlin-Ueli. I think he'll be best on ground in that one. But look, anyway, guys, they're my round 1 tips for the NRL. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So, guys, real quick, my tips, in case you didn't catch them. I've got the Storm, I've got the Knights, I've got the Eels, I've got the Warriors, I've got the Roosters, the Panthers, the Raiders, and the Sharks. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys In the next one, the footy's back!